All right, today we're going to go deep into the weeds around structural and entity planning when it comes to having a big liquidity event and you're reorganizing your money and assets into different buckets and shells. Let's get into it. This episode is brought to you by Rife Martin CPA, the premier, the greatest, the most amazing CPA firm in Texas. And Texas is the best state on the planet, right?
Yep, exactly.
Which makes
So,
you like the
and thank
best
you for
CPA.
flattering me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank you very much for that. That was wonderful. So, um, I'm excited to be here today because, like we were saying in the last episode, the this is really the time of year where a lot of people think of selling their businesses. Um, you know, Obviously they're trying to figure out the timing too of when do they recognize the sale this year or next year. What's the best tax strategy for it? So I think talking about entity and structural planning is going to be a great topic today.
Let's get into it. So first question is when you make the sale, right? You can place the assets in a trust, in the LLC, in the S-Corp, and the C-Corp, and a family office, right? You have all these cool terms that all these cool people have, and for me personally, I'd be like, yeah, I can't wait to have a family office. It just makes in the finance world, that's like cool. That's like, it's like a Instagram blue check. You'd be like, yeah.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, it makes me feel like, oh, I'm all that in a bag of chips. So,
Uh-huh.
this we're talking about this post sale, correct? As in we've already got the proceeds.
We got the proceeds, or we're planning. It doesn't really matter how. We're talking through like which one do I want to do,
But we're
or
talking
or,
on the
or,
other
or
side, as in I've already completed the sale. The sale's about to happen. What do I need to do when I get all when I'm officially shown the money?
yeah. And how do I go through deciding which one of these entities I should use, right? 'Cause I would imagine each entity has different pluses and minuses depending on my goals and what I'm trying to do.
Right. So I think as we talked about, and I think we've talked. Well, I shouldn't say I think. I know we've talked about this over the course of us, having these great interviews. Is that it takes a team to make the sale of your business successful. So you should always involve your financial advisor, your estate attorney, your trust attorney, your business attorney, and your CPA, because they're all here to help you be successful. So, the first question would be, what do you want to do with the money when you get it? Before you decide what entity to put it in. Because if you're putting it into, say, an S Corp, a C Corp, that's that would sound like you're moving it into another business that you want to start.
You got it.
So if that's your goal, then I mean, it doesn't necessarily take away the individual impact that your business had or that, for you when you sell it, but it's really what is your overall goal? So like, I want to sell it and I want to retire. And so, and I want to be sure to leave a legacy for my kids. So maybe moving a portion of my money into like a family limited partnership or, putting it into a trust for asset protection. Or like I said, maybe I want to start another business. So that's the first question that we would want to ask.
Got it. Got it. And most of the time, as you go through the questionnaire and ask them different questions, do you find like people have multiple buckets, right? They may have a pile of money for family office money, pile of money for trust money, maybe for the grandkids or kids, maybe a pile of money for new business ventures.
Yeah, I was going to say, and this actually makes me think, hopefully you've been, as the business owner, you've had these kind of thoughts and conversations well before you sell your business, because honestly, by the time you sell it, you know, you've missed out on opportunities to really think, well, what do you want to do? Because once you stop with the business, well, then what? What do I do next?
Right.
So hopefully you've been thinking over the course of time, what was my overall goal? So now that I've got this great exit and I've already planned for, like you say, I want to put some in my estate planning bucket. I want to, have money so that I can go on trips and I can have money so that, maybe I can start a new business. That's you've had this so that you can plan to help people plan ahead so that they can actually maximize the profit and on the sale of the business and they're ready to go. So yeah, those are the kind of questions we would have talked about over time and as we got the sale ready.
Awesome. And do the different structures change my tax liabilities? Income and estate planning tax liabilities.
So yes, so if you put the money into say like an irrevocable trust, well then yeah, you've shifted the assets off of you and it's being borne by the trust, and then it's the tax structure would be different. If you put it in a family limited partnership, well you've shifted some of the assets from you again to this family limited partnership that, again, you get to the participants in the family limited partnership would get to share in the reap the rewards, but pay the tax burden separately for whatever you've invested the funds in. So yeah, it would change that. So those would be the conversations you would have with your financial planner, financial advisor, CPA, attorney, now just to be sure that it's based on the goals you want, so that you've got, what do they call it, the three legs of the stool: the asset protection, the legal protection, and the personal protection, all tax protection, all set up.
Got it. Got it. And again, same rules as last episode, right? You sort of are fact finding around flexibility, right? Taxes and protection, which you're gonna want all of them. So you sort of are gonna have probably a
Right, right.
multi-layered plan.
Right. And then, too, like, what do you want to leave your family when you have to, was it live well to leave well kind of a thing? You want to make sure that you can, leave enough for your kids and your grandkids and all that so that they're set up for success too. And, or maybe whatever charitable organizations you want to give to. So there's lots of great ways to talk about this. So, or to plan for this.
Yeah, this was, and I don't sell life insurance. This was one of the reasons why I loved that I got started in the life insurance business and understood it because, you would see so many wealthy families that would, um, as the I would call it like as an emergency plan, right? They would set
Hmm.
up an irrevocable life insurance trust, have have one of their entities pay the premium to the trust to maintain the policy, and at the very least they would know that they could replace their entire net worth, right, to their distributed beneficiaries of the trust at their death. And so I was like, that's pretty cool. You can use some of them while you're alive, use some of them here, but the premium is like I sort of thought of it in my mind as like maybe like not borrowing money, but in like the premiums are like the interest you pay, right, on a
Right.
loan, you know,
Yeah,
over time
exactly.
to
So,
ensure that the legacy gets passed on.
yeah, and again, I know we've said this, but this is why you have a team working with you on this, because it isn't just about taxes or it isn't just about saving money. It's about the whole of you, the holistic view I think you talked about before.
Absolutely. All right, and then specifically, let's talk about family offices, right? Because I think when I think about the people that I work with, they're very uh, they like to invest. They like the idea of selling a business and then having like an investing career. So can you talk more about family offices, like some of the you know benefit structures, or why people would what's the benefit of a family office, and what's the downside of a family office from a tax perspective?
I mean, the upside to it is, that is a better way to help manage your wealth. And again, you should, again, kind of like why you would do maybe a family limited partnership. Your goal is to shift some of the wealth off of you so that you don't, that you uh, can get it out of your estate. Because I think when we talk family office, we're really starting to think estate planning, not necessarily individual. Again, there will be individual tax impact to it, but I think we're starting to think, well, what do I need to do so I'm prepared for, to set up properly for a state so we can shift some of our assets off of us and out of our estate. So that's the benefit to it. The
Hmm.
downside is you've shifted some of the assets off of you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But I
And,
think that's something more to work with a financial advisor on. So,
yeah. And as I understand it too, at a family office, you can get compensated for managing the money as a way to you know protect
get
your financial security.
right and just have another stream of income coming in for you too.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So, So
Well,
anyway, I'd have to say I think you're right. We could do multiple episodes on these. So
absolutely. Well, let everybody know how they can reach you if they want to do a session around thinking through and planning in advance. Um, some of their goals. So, I like what you said. Like even if you're running a business and you're doing well, and maybe you're not ready to sell, these are things I think it's wise to talk about like now.
yeah, I was going to say, because I think we've even talked about this before, begin with the exit in mind. Like, you know, before you know it, you started the business when you were 25 and all of a sudden you're, 65 and you're like, where did all the time go and why didn't I plan? But you can reach me at my website, rifemartincpa.com, or you can email me at info@rifemartinaccounting.com. And I think it'd be fun to talk about.
Thanks for sharing.
Have a great day and thank you for a great episode.
Philip Washington Jr. is a registered investment advisor. Information presented is for educational purposes only and does not intend to make an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Investments involve risk and, unless otherwise stated, are not guaranteed. Be sure to first consult with a qualified financial advisor and/or tax professional before implementing any strategy discussed herein. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.